I have a technique which I call, you can even make a note of this, it's called as remember, recall, refer. How many people am I going to get the 3 R's, remember, recall, and refer me? So what I would do in an event like this, I would think over it strategically, keep shaking hands, keep meeting people, but I would want to set up one-to-ones, not immediately, but after that, post-meeting. So whenever I go to an event like this, I make sure that, say a whole day event like this with about probably I'm not sure, we've got about 500 plus people in the room, I would look to set up at least 5 to 6, maybe even 10 one-to-ones over the next month.
Morning, BNI. What a privilege to introduce to us the person that I'm going to be having a conversation with. And please allow us enjoy this bubble. But this morning they were telling me how they honor such people, where he comes from. You have to get to the feet and ensure that you take some luck with you. So I'm hoping to tap into some luck with this gentleman. The gentleman that I'm going to be having a conversation with has been in business for 40 years plus. He's still counting, 40 years. And in BNI, he has supported businesses to grow. So I'm excited. Let me check out a few of the stats that I was looking up to let you know what has happened. He has supported India to grow from 400 members to 44,000 members across India. And currently they have 68,000 members, and the goal is to reach 100,000. In Uganda, we are only 600, but we are counting down to 5,000, and he is the leader that he is, holding our hands to ensure that we hit this number. We can't doubt because they already 68,000. He speaks and trains globally and, on all things, landscapes, cultures, but also most importantly, he is a global master trainer in BNI. Welcome with me, Mr. Murali. Yes. Very, very excited to have you, Mr. Murali. I'm excited that, it's an honor to be in BNI. Where would I have found Mr. Murali? So let me enjoy the space.
Thank you.
He's here. We are 600 members, 602 in Uganda, 570 plus in Kenya, and we are counting from all the other countries. We are over 400 in here. But who is Murali, especially life before joining BNI, and now that you're in BNI and we are here, mesmerized that I know that you even love building leaders. So who is Murali before BNI and after joining BNI?
Thank you, Joan, and thank you, Diana, for inviting me for this fireside chat. Thank you, Muraguri. It's an honor and pleasure always to be here. I was here a couple of years back, and it's a pleasure to be back here. Before BNI, I was in multiple businesses. Initially, I was in my father's business, which was in the construction machinery business, which was very long ago when I started my career. We used to handle machinery which constructs roads and stuff like that. So that is a business I transitioned out of, and I got into the gifting business. I was a distributor and a franchisee of a very big Indian brand called Archie's. So that's a little bit very brief background of where I came from, but there were 3 major things that happened to me once I transitioned from my past life into BNI. The first thing I think that really changed was, before BNI, I had no network except for my very small world which I was in. It was more like a retail stores which I owned, and I knew some of the other people who were my clients. So I could actually count on my fingers who was my network. Okay, maybe 15, 20 people I could count as my network. But BNI changed that a lot over a period of time. Over the last 18 years now, I have friends across the world. and my contacts we expanded. Now I have friends in any part of the world. I just have to send them a message or send a quick text or send an email. I can be assured that the minute they're awake, if they're in a different time zone or they're in the same time zone, within the next maybe a half an hour, within an hour, I'll get a response from them. So that is the power of the network, and that which I did not have before. Today I have I'm very blessed to be having friends in most countries in the world, very good friends. The second thing I think that really changed was, and I'm sure that many of us would have experienced this before BNI, I was not a very organized person. Things were always random. I was very reactive. Like, life would just drag me along, and then even though I was in business, I would be on a day-to-day basis reactively handling situations. Maybe there's a payment issue, maybe there's a supply chain issue, my team has not turned up. So, it was always reacting to situations and in a little bit chaotic manner. So, if I had planned something in the beginning of the day, most days that will not happen, something else will happen. So, I have in my mind, I want to get this work done, and that doesn't happen because I was not organized. But today, thanks to BNI, I have learned how to keep an organized way of working. Do things go off schedule? Yes, they do. But pretty much life is more or less organized. I'm able to work predictably, which makes a big difference when you're a small business owner trying to grow your business. You're able to plan and grow. I think that's a big difference that happened to me after BNI. And finally, of course, being time conscious. I was never punctual before. If a meeting was at 9:30, I would start getting ready at 9:30 so that I could possibly reach by 10:15. But now, if I have to be in a meeting by 9:30, I'm very proud. I'm always there half an hour earlier, 15 minutes to half an hour earlier. So these are some of the basic changes happens, right? So basically, our network increases, our way of working increases. We are more organized, and of course, we become more punctual.
Wow, very interesting. Is your network expanding? And I can identify with that because these days they ask me if I know everyone in Kampala. Yeah, so the networks expand. I hear you mentioning the fact that you're better organized and that you can manage time better. So I'm sure you are not following Muraguri's tool. Yeah. But I also know that you're very fascinated about leadership development. You're holding our own Diana's hand here to ensure that we get to 5,000. What is this fascination about leadership development?
Yeah, this is something I learned from BNI, and I'm sure that many of us here can actually benefit from this. It's very, very important if you're getting very good at what you do. And I'm sure, how many of us here are good at what we do? We're very good in our profession. We're very good at what we do. You can see some of you are putting up your hands. What about the rest? Okay. I have a simple advice for you. If you're good at doing something, stop doing it. Okay? You're good at doing something. What I mean to say is, see, sometimes it happens that we are so good at what we do, we keep doing it, and the same thing keeps going on. This is something I realized along my journey. It's very important to surround myself with leaders who can do what I'm doing so that I can explore my next frontier, the next challenge. Because growth happens when I'm able to add value. And I realized that working with leaders, that's what I'm fascinated working with leaders, is in my journey, the growth has happened in India and growth has happened to my career and growth has happened. The way BNI India grew was we were able to identify leaders and empower them. So in your own business, it's very important. So one simple thumb rule, and I realized this as I evolved in BNI, is I have to be the dumbest person in the room. Right? I have to be surrounded by people who are smarter than me, who are faster than me, and who are more capable than me. I only have to be a leader to them. I don't have to do everything. I don't have to know everything, but I have to surround myself with people who are doing the right thing. So if you would like to scale up your business, I think it's very important that we work with leaders. And that's why I've been blessed. I've been fortunate to come across some outstanding leaders in BNI. Diana is one of them, definitely. We have seen the results that are coming in. And working with leaders like Diana, working with leaders like this across the world is something that's inspired me. And what happens when you work with leaders is you're able to create exponential growth. If you want your business to grow 50x, 100x, 1000x, if you want it to grow, make sure that you have people around you who can multiply it for you. We are very capable, but if we have the right leaders around us, it can make magic happen to your business. And I've personally experienced this, and that's what I would suggest everybody to do. Surround yourself with leaders, start somewhere. It may not always be the end answer. You may not always get it right, but that doesn't matter. Surround yourself with your people and make a start. And most times, you will find that the people whom you empower will actually work better than you. That's been my experience. That's why I'm fascinated working with leaders. people whom I work with, eventually they are able to deliver better results than what I could have been able to do.
Wow. Interesting. You know, this morning I was, during the networking session, I was talking to somebody who said they're a mindset coach. Now, what I'm picking from you is a mindset shift, because we are being told that if you're very good at what you're doing, it's time to dump it. Can you imagine that? Stop doing it, otherwise you're standing in between you and probably your next level of growth because you're busy doing what you enjoy doing. But we are here growing. Uganda, 600 members. Kenya, 570, threatening to hit the 600 mark. How can we leverage this number? What have you seen in your journey?
Yes, it's very important as numbers grow. Yes, numbers are very interesting. Now, I'm in a chapter, let's say I've got 40 members, 50 members, but the community around me, that's when BNI grows, that's the magic that happens. As BNI grows, look, my membership fee is fixed. I'm in a chapter of 50 members. And today, I mean, a year ago in Uganda, I think in the beginning of 2023 or beginning of 2024, we had about 300 plus members. So close to 300 or just crossed 300 members. So in the beginning of 2023, my network for the membership fee that I paid was 300. And today, for more or less the same fee, maybe a little more, I have a network of 600 people. And as we grow, today a member in BNI India has got a network of 68,000. Now, obviously, we cannot reach out to all, we cannot make, but then the bigger the network, the more the business value increases, the value per member. We have seen this happen time and again. And I've seen this happen in multiple countries, and it's the same with Uganda too. If you go back to where, the value per member, maybe when we were 300 and now it will be more than double. Okay? What happens is so for the members here, now since you have this network, start leveraging that network. Out of the 40 or 50 members in your chapter, or maybe more, how many of them do you really know very well? When I say know very well, how many of them can you refer with confidence? How many will refer you with confidence? Think about it for some time. Look through name by name. Do I really know this person well? Do I have a relationship with them? Start with your own chapter. But when you start looking at beyond your chapter and when you want to make connections across East Africa, now we have our strong presence in Nairobi and in Kampala. But I'm very, very sure we are just on the verge of this. We are just on the precipice of making this happening. And it's going to expand. It's going to explode across Kenya, across Uganda, in multiple cities. And this is where you'll have to start leveraging the network. Your network gets bigger. It is something like this. As the network grows across the country, right now, your business is being represented by 600 members in both the countries, 600 each. Across East Africa, you've got about 1,500 plus members who are representing your business. How many of them are actually you're able to leverage? That's what is very important. The value per member goes up. Your ticket value your total business earned value will go up when you start building relationships across with different chapter members. So don't look at your membership as only your chapter, look beyond your chapter. The magic happens when you're able to, all do you need out of the 600 members, if let's say 30 of them are able to give me referrals on a regular basis, this magic increases. When this increases to 1,000, that 30 will be 50. And when that increases to 5,000, I may have over 200 people referring me. Can you imagine how your business can grow? And that's why I would say the big opportunity is there is as the network grows, you have more reliable, more strong referral partners who could support you.
Wow, amazing. So if you're in a chapter like BNI Champions, okay, it's your chapter, right? You grow beyond your chapter. Otherwise, what I'm hearing from Murali is that your business will remain small. Think beyond. Have you connected with Mauritius? Have you connected with Tanzania? We saw the vibes here. Please connect. Kenya, our next door neighbors, please do the connection. Mr. Murali, I know that one of the things that happens in BNI, and now that when I think about Uganda at 600, majority of the businesses here are probably 2 years and under, and maybe a few 5 years below 5. I've made 6, so 6 out of 10, and I'm going nowhere. So my question is, beyond building relationships, in the morning, our keynote speaker was telling us to think about value. So beyond building these relationships, how can a young business grow? The business leader is in this room. They've come to the convention. They promised them that you leave the convention with magic. how can the person pursue
Yeah,
their growth
that's
agenda?
a very good question, and I'm really excited to answer that because I have personally done what I'm going to share now. When I come to a convention like this or a big event like this, it's very important I have a plan in mind. We're going to meet a lot of people here. We're going to exchange cards, take pictures, shake hands, and get to know a lot of exciting people. What happens when I go back? Maybe that excitement lasts for some time. I posted some pictures. I keep searching on my phone how many people have liked my picture, and after that, this kind of fades off. Right? There's no real concrete action for many of us. And I know sometimes the relationship moves forward. Sometimes, but if you want to make this really productive for us, I have a technique which I call. You can even make a note of this. It's called as remember, recall, refer. How many people am I going to get the 3 R's, remember, recall, and refer me? So what I would do in an event like this, I would think over it strategically, keep shaking hands, keep meeting people, but I would want to set up one-to-ones, not immediately, but after that, post-meeting. So whenever I go to an event like this, I make sure that in say a whole day event like this with about probably I'm not sure, we've got about 500 plus people in the room, I would look to set up at least 5 to 6, maybe even 10 one-to-ones over the next month. I'll take my phone with me as I'm talking to somebody, not with everybody, but with the people whom I believe, whom I can mutually work with. There are some possibilities where we can collaborate. Here it's very important. I'd like you to pay attention. When we come to events like this, we tend to look for referrals for our business. We tend to look for opportunities or rather, somebody whom they can refer to, or they are a potential client, or they can refer me business, and our mind ends there. When I'm here, I look at opportunities. With whom can I collaborate with? With whom can we start a new vertical? Maybe a new market. I can explore a new market. So far, I don't have a presence in Tanzania. Maybe somebody in Tanzania or somebody in Nairobi wants their presence here, and I could possibly be a solution for them. It could be a new vertical. It could be a new business altogether. It could be a new product that I'm exploring. So keeping this in mind, when I'm talking to people here, I said, hey, by the way, I'm really, I think we can work together. I have a lot of great ideas. I also have a good network from where I come. Can we set up a meeting? Maybe next Wednesday afternoon, 3 o'clock. It can be on Zoom, it can be in person, but set up that meeting. Make sure that you have at least 5 one-to-ones before you leave here. I mean, scheduled one-to-ones with people whom you believe can actually refer you business. So the key thing over here is as you keep meeting people, and keep your antenna open. Opportunities are there. I can give you so many stories of members who have grown their business, opened new businesses, explored new markets, represented new products which they did not know that they could do before. Because BNI is like what I say, it's like a huge freshwater lake. It's like Lake Victoria. It depends on what kind of container am I bringing here. Am I bringing a small glass, a small cup, a small container? Am I going to take back a glass of water? Am I going to take back a pail of water or a bucket of water? I always say when you come to events like this, bring a big tanker with you, fill it up and go. Because it's here that you're going to be able to get those connections. I have grown significantly. I've made some amazing friends, amazing connections across the world just by setting up these one-to-ones and following up with one simple goal. They should remember, recall, and refer me. That doesn't happen with one meeting. If I'm going to have, I call this as 24/7/30. It's a technique called as 24/7/30. If I meet somebody within 24 hours, I will be sending out a short message to them, maybe with a picture, but also not just great meeting you and here's the picture. No, it was great meeting you. I'm happy that we could possibly collaborate on this. Thank you for offering to refer me to this, or I will be happy to help you get connected. Let's keep in touch. There should be some call to action that happens in the next 24 hours, not just hello, it was great meeting you. It should be a small, I look forward to working with you, something like that. I believe that we have a possibility of working together and exploring new opportunities. So that's 24 hours. Within the next 7 days, I will make another touch base because that person would have read my message, would have probably responded. And this time around, I'd like to make it more personal. Can I have a quick call with you? Just a quick 5-minute conversation. Hey, how are things? I thought we can keep in touch. And within the next 30 days, I would have planned my second one-to-one. We have to act like this. So what happens? 1 conversation, 2 conversations, 3 conversations. And by the time the 3rd month is done, I have seen some big magic happening. It's not that, I make a connection here and it just fades out after that. We should follow up. Not with everybody. We're meeting hundreds of people, but shortlist those 4 or 5 with whom you can continue a relationship so that they can remember, recall, and refer you. And you are doing the same for them. You are remembering, recalling, and refer. Yesterday I was here, and when I was here, I got a message from a director in Malaysia looking for a connection from India. And when I was here, I remembered, recalled, and referred somebody I know in India, and it's a sizable business. It may probably land up being around $10,000 worth of business. It happened within a few minutes. Because of being able to build that relationship, you are able to give and get business. So remember, it's all about being remembered, recalled, and referred, and take those relationships forward. Our keynote today, speaker today also mentioned that it's not about the quantity, it's not about how wide I go. Yes, I have to go wide, but it's how deep I go. Events like this give me an opportunity to go wide. An organization like BNI gives me an opportunity to go wide. I should also look at how deep I can go.
Wow, are you being remembered? Are you being recalled?
Okay.
Are you being referred? That's the 3 R's that I'm picking, that you are supposed to be remembered, recalled, and referred. Yes, it's a fireside chat, but what is a fireside chat without a key takeaway for you? Turn to your neighbor and say, from what you're hearing from Mr. Murali, what are you going to action on? And make sure you also book a one-to-one to hold that person accountable after 1 week. Please turn to your neighbor, tell them what have you picked from the fireside chat, book a one-to-one so that they can have a follow-up session with you.
Yeah.
Yes, I hope, by the way, you have already thought about the smarter people in your room. I think one of the things that you actually mentioned to me when we were kind of thinking about this process was the thing you mentioned about, as a business leader, be the numbers guy in the room. What does that actually mean?
Yeah, see, it's very important. Numbers tell a story. I've always worked with numbers, so it's. Do we have a plan? Do you have a projection? Do you have a plan? This is something I learned quite earlier, because I realized I was walking. I was doing a lot of work, but at the end of the year, when I saw that, it was looking as if we were just making ends meet. I was not really, making the kind of money which I thought is potential. So it's very important. It's something like this. We have the passion. We are very passionate people. That's why we're inside this room. The more important thing is that we should be surrounded by the right people and have a process to deliver that. It's very important. I call it as passion, people, process. Keep this in mind. We have a lot of passion. Otherwise, you won't be here in this room. But you need to be surrounded by the right kind of people. And then have a process for you to be able to measure the results. What gets measured gets done. So, what gets measured gets monitored. What gets monitored gets done. So, have a process in which you're able to measure your results. And the very important message, one of the key things, as you set up the one-to-ones, as you keep following up, as you keep building it, invest in your team. It's very important. Most of us, I missed out on that in my earlier business life. But in BNI, I learned one very important thing. It's always important to have a team bigger than you need. In probably places like, in Nairobi or in Uganda, it's not very difficult. In some of the European countries or Singapore, it's very expensive to have manpower. But here it is possible. So please have more people than you need. Because the bigger the team, you'll be able to achieve more and have a way in which you can track your results.
Okay, great. So expand your team if you want to grow. What's your parting shot? What do you want to leave these people with?
Very simple. Parting shot, remember, the whole purpose of coming to a conference like this, the whole purpose of being in BNI is to be remembered, recalled, and referred. Whatever am I doing it on the lines to be remembered, recalled, and referred in the right manner, in a positive manner, and that's about it. That's my parting message. But please build a team. Work towards building relationships and work towards building a team. These are the two important things that we have to do.
Okay, build relationships, build your teams, get smarter people than yourself, get organized, wake up earlier. Now I'm tapping into what Muraguri is saying, wake up a little earlier, so that you're organized. You have, by the way, this entire team is your team. That the fireside chat is also launching something that is very, very dear to BNI in Uganda. So we are going to switch gears. So Lo, are you ready? We want to switch gears because we are launching as well the BNI Uganda Podcast. And we have the honor of having Mr. Murali with us. So they are going to guide us in terms of how we are going to do that.